I don't know, drama from the beginning. But anyways, this is what happens in life. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Drama to Dharma. I'd like to thank you all for joining and participating. My name is Josie Herndon, and I do work with the archangel, specifically Gabriel. So this show is dedicated to Gabriel, and the archangel realm of Gabriel is how he shares that. And what we do is the name of the show is Drama to Dharma. So that specifically, drama is our life here on Earth, basically, they say. And the Dharma is where they are in the non-physical realm. So the physical realm would be considered drama. They love to watch us. They say it's very entertaining. And then the Dharma is their realm. So what we're doing is integrating the physical and the non-physical realm. That's our goal for this show, is to help integrate that. And with our topics, and we talk about current events, we have a topic every week. And this week's topic is called These Uncertain Times. And that was a special request from a couple people. And one is Jim, my husband, who said, I was going to do health and well-being. And he said, well, could we talk about see what Gabriel's saying about these uncertain times? It's almost like unprecedented times everybody's talking about. And then Gabriel was all excited because Jim came up with a cool topic that's just, talking about what's happening right now. And although everything comes back to that. So we have our topic, but I do ask for audience participation by asking questions, giving comments. It really helps with the flow of the messages to come through. If there's something out there that you want to ask the angels, please do that. It doesn't matter if it's off topic. If it comes to your heart to ask a question, or your spirit, just do it. And then we can, keep that part of the conversation going. Chances are that those are things that other people want to hear about as well. So these uncertain times. So what Gabriel says about that is that everything, it's a spiritual conundrum. So he can say clearly, he says these certain times, so there's uncertainty is always going to be, we never really know what's going to happen ever. And so every day, every moment is uncertain, yet it is also certain, he's saying. So it's both, it's uncertain and it's certain. Now, what that means is that right now, you could say in these days, this day where we are today in 2020, November, we don't know what's going to happen. Now, a year ago, we didn't know that either, but we had a feeling that we did. Everything was a routine a year ago, kind of. Things were starting to get, a little weird, but not really. The holidays for me last year were normal. Everything was as if, we're just going into another year, 2020. And then the pandemic hit in February, and everything shut down in March, and here we are. So we've had a lot go on this year, and we've talked about that in the past, but right now, since that's the topic, he just wants us to know that we never really do know. He just wants to remind us that we don't ever know what is going to happen from one moment to the next. There's, many things that could, just not be what we planned. Although this year, as we're making our plans, it seems like, and he's talked about this before, that there's brakes that are put on, that the universe is not allowing us to make plans, basically, because everything is shifting and everything is different and everything is evolving. So it's, when we as humans, we're not having a easy time relating to the shift and the changes, he says. So it's easier for us to go back to our old routines or go back to a routine in any way so that we can feel comfortable. And I know that's true for me, because right now that holidays are coming, and Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, if not probably my favorite holiday. And I'm just so excited about it because I want something that's going to be normal. I want you to decorate. I want to plan on baking cookies. I just want to do my Christmas things that I normally do. But again, today we get a notice in California from the governor that we're going back on a more stringent lockdown starting the 21st of November through the 21st of December, if not further, and where we're going to have curfews, and it's going to be stay at home again for most counties who are in the purple tier, which is anyways. And I know other states are doing this as well. So we're going back into lockdown, and that is an uncertain thing. It's like, wow, here we go back into lockdown. What does that mean? For me, I have health issues, so I definitely have to follow those orders because I would be compromised if I got the coronavirus. And then there's many people who have already gotten it and have antibodies, and they're like, well, what does that, nobody knows. That's the uncertainty about this whole thing. It's like, well, what if you've already gotten it and all of these things. So that's the uncertainty. And then there's all the political stuff that I won't even get into, but that's very much uncertainty as well. So these uncertain times are definitely more pervasive than they've been in the past, because, even though in the past we would have uncertainty, right now, this is the unknown. Basically, we are walking into waters of the unknown. We are walking into a whole different realm than we have in the past. And we are elevating, he says, so that's a good thing, but we definitely have to shed our old beliefs. Now, for many of us doing our spiritual work and through prayer and meditation, we have learned practices to shed our old beliefs if they don't serve us. And so he says, right now is the time to do it again. Do that again. Anything in your practice to shed your old beliefs, so that way you can be prepared in a sense to just move with the flow and go downriver with what's happening. He wants us to go with the flow of what's happening, to go downriver, not upstream. Don't try to paddle upstream and get scared and nervous, because that's what happens when we are afraid, right? We don't know what's going to happen. We get angry fast. Maybe we might get angry about things quicker, or we might get more depressed, and not want to. Today I was sick and I was in bed most of the day. And I don't know if it was because of what's going on with my lung, or if it's just because I'm just tired of everything. They call it the pandemic fatigue, So we're all going through different things. But he says for us just to, when we feel that way, to pray and to call on the angels, call on our spirit guides and say, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Show me where I'm supposed to go. Show me what I'm supposed to do. And they will. If we ask, they will show us. And then it'll just start flowing. You'll feel the flow of going with the river and going downstream instead of upstream. You're going to feel that energy, because you're going to also feel the release of letting go of everything that we're trying to hold on to. He says we're trying to hold on to things, and that's why it seems like uncertain times, because we're holding on to old beliefs. If we can let go of all of that, and we all, we could just say, let's let go of those old beliefs and then just release them. We don't have to think about what the old beliefs are, because then that gets us thinking about them as well. He says it's as simple as just letting go of old beliefs without having to think about what those old beliefs are. And that could just simply be the belief that I should be able to be out at midnight if I want to. During a curfew at 10 o'clock. Okay, that's an old belief. Right now, we're just going to go to bed early and we're going to start our day early, which a lot of us have been doing. So, we don't have to be out and about after 10. And they always say, what good comes after midnight, anyways, right? So, especially during a pandemic. So, it's okay to be home at 10 o'clock at night right now. And that's just, because then we can think about the injustice of it and fighting it and going against the stream with it. And, that might be okay for a while, but when you're really tired of that, just let it go and go with the stream and just say, all right, I'll go to bed at 10, and you know what, I'll get up at 5. So that way I can, or 6, get up at 6 and just start my day there, and be very cautious of everything I'm doing, and just kind of keep my eyes around, make sure, who's, if there truly are all these, new cases coming up, which none of us know how many cases or where they're at. They are definitely real, for sure. I have a pulmonologist that I can't even get a hold of because he's stuck in the ICU now all the time with his COVID patients. And I pray for him every day, Dr. Shaw. I pray for him. But I'm also praying for myself because I sure would like for him to look at my stuff so that we can, come up with the procedure. So, there's the COVID uptick, and all of this, but then there's also the other stuff that goes on that maybe somebody can't get their medical treatment because of the COVID. So there's so many things that are uncertain. And when it comes to that, we basically just have to advocate for ourselves, come up with our own list of things to do, he says, and just keep moving forward and doing the best we can. There's no right or wrong. He says, just doing the best we can. And he's saying a lot of this is, just back to basics, 4 agreements with what Miguel Ruiz has written, that he was, divinely inspired to write those, to write it. And the book, The 4 Agreements, and that's pretty much what we're talking about in a nutshell, is to let go of those old beliefs and to not take things personal at all, because there's nothing personal. When he says don't take things personal, that means from other humans, because we don't know where they are in their mind right now. We never do, but especially right now. And I don't know if you've noticed that other people are just not, quite what we're used to them being. There might be somebody that's you don't know why they haven't called you back. You've texted them, they're not returning calls. It could just be they're tired and they're just put their phone away for a little while and decided to do something different. So don't read into it too much what's going on with people. Just love each other right now where we are. He's saying just love each other for who we are and where we are, because we're all going through this transition together. And when you feel inspired to do it, pray and meditate and ask for the answers to come to you directly from them, from God, from Spirit, from the universe. They will give us the answers that we're searching for, one way or the other. And it could just be that you pick up the book, and then the answer will be there. You pick up the Bible and the answer will be there. You're reading the Quran and the answer will be there. You're going for a walk and the answer will be there. They'll show us the answers because they're right there ready to give us those answers for whatever questions that we have right now. And so during the show, of course, you can ask questions and we'll answer them as best as we can, or as best as I can, but Gabriel will always answer it. But he's saying that even if you don't have questions right now, but you do later, ask them and they will give you the answers, and you will feel the answers come through one way or the other if you're open to hearing from God, and you're open to hearing from Spirit about what it is you should do during these uncertain times, as the topic says. And it's all times, but right now we're focusing on these times that we're in, We're here into, the tail end of 2020, going into major holiday season. We're being told we can't be with our family for holidays. And so, or maybe limited family. And that's okay too, because we can do Zooms with our family. We can still cook our favorite meals. We can use, I encourage everybody to use your best china, your best dishes, whatever. Still decorate your home and put out your best plates and that you have, make it, as beautiful as you can, just so that it feels good. Just so it feels good. Make your favorite meal, whatever it is for that holiday. And then you'll feel the joy of that holiday, and then you can share it with each other over Zoom. Maybe with your family, you can have a contest to see, we're going to put, our turkeys, all up and have it, see whose looks nicer. I don't know. It's just kind of making that up. But, come up with something to do with your friends and your family that you can't do in person, but that you can do in Zoom, or you can do on the phone or via text, share each other's pictures, whatever it is that you can reach out to them. Debbie, before we got on the call, she was sharing with me a message that she got from one of our co-hosts and dear friend who I would love to get on my show one day. Her name is Andrea. We've talked about her. She does, she's a health coach, and she's just a beautiful spirit. And she left Debbie a message today on her phone to saying, hi, this is your conscious. I just want to tell you that you're beautiful and I love you. And it brought tears to Debbie's eyes, and almost to me. I thought, well, that's really sweet. And that's all she did, was just say, hey, I'm your conscious. Here I am. I love you. I want you to know you're okay. Things like that. That was very sweet. That was a sweet message from her. So, and it was exactly when Debbie needed it. So if you feel that, and my friend Adrienne called me today. Adrienne, I answered the phone today, and she's here on the show. And I was like, wow, Adrienne, we haven't talked in years. And so then we started talking about Gabriel and her things that she does spiritually. And it's just like, wow, this is great. And she's now in the green room, and I hope to have her on the show. And that was just because she followed the spirit. She followed her spiritual guidance to say, you know what, I'm going to call Josie. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to answer it. And I didn't even know it was a 714. And I've been getting all these stupid calls all day long from these people that I don't know who are trying to get me to sign up for a visa or something, So I don't answer those ones. But I answered Adrienne. I just, spirit guided me, answer this one. And I did. And it was her. And I had a few minutes, and it didn't take long for us to connect. So when you feel that, just do it right now, he's saying, because they're really working with us to connect with each other in ways that we can. So they're helping us to connect with each other even without seeing each other. And that's what they're saying. So I just got that vision where they're just helping us to connect. Those of us who should be connecting will connect. And not that, if you can't connect with somebody particular, it's just not the right timing, but it'll happen. So I see something here from Carly. Hi, Carly. She says, for me, it's letting go of any idea that things should happen the way I feel they should happen. Nothing happens the way I think or hope will happen. Not in what others think, say, behave, or desire. Not in life, my career, my family. If I can let go of expectations, I feel I may find more peace. So Carly yes, that was a comment. Thank you, Carly. So what I believe she was saying here is that for me, it's letting go of any idea that things should happen the way I feel they should happen. So she's saying, that whenever I let it go when I let go of my expectations, she feels more peace. So when she thinks that something should happen the way it's supposed to, and then she gets all upset that it didn't, and then as soon as she lets it go, then she finds some peace. And that's, and really you don't even, can't get to the place of peace until you let it go and just go, oh, okay. But, getting there takes a minute, because you still, they want you to feel your feelings. They want you to walk through whatever it is that you have to walk through to let it go. So feel it. Don't push it under. Feel it. Talk about it. Get rid of it. Even if it's with yourself, and you're just going to say a few words and say, oh my goodness, my word to frustration, and let it go. And then you find your peace. And then from Jim, what's the best way to courageous, it's difficult with my expectations. But what's the best way to courage? Is that right, Jim? Courage? Let's see. To be. What's the best way to be courageous? It's difficult with my expectations. So I'm trying to understand that question. But let's see. I think what he's trying to say is, what's the best way to be courageous? Is that right, Jim? Yeah. Okay. What's the best way to be courageous? It's difficult with my expectations. Well, okay, again, if we let go, Gabriel's saying, if we let go of our expectations, just release them. If you can let go of an expectation right now of anything that you might think of, random, any expectation you have, any expectation that has judgment attached to it, if you can let go of that, just let go of that. He's saying, try it right now. Everybody try it. Just let go of something that you're holding on to that doesn't serve you, and just practice that. Now, as far as what is the best way to being courageous, I mean, Jim is the most courageous person I know. I mean, he just went through cancer. He just, Jim, you are like, he's bulletproof for sure. Okay. He's cancer-free. He's still working. I mean, Jim, you're the most courageous person I know. So the expectation part, that I would say, as your wife, that probably is something to let go of. But courage, you've got it. So, you've got the courage. Gabriel's saying you're very courageous. That's not a thing. But to let go of expectations, that's definitely something that you will feel peace in your heart when you can let go of your expectations and then allow the universe to do the work for you. Let the angels do 70% of the work for you. We used to have that thing where we'd in the morning pray for the angels. Gabriel would say, ask us to do 70% of the work, and then you just show up as a human and do 30% of the work. Now that's a perfect day. So if we can get back into that formula and just say, angels, God, do 70% of the work for me. I'm just going to show up and I'm going to let you guide me today. And now that's not something that, we could do every day because I forget. But if we could do it most of the time, it's really a good life. So it's something to definitely practice. Let's see. And then we have Carly. That's how it happened when Sabrina died. Now, Carly's daughter died several years ago, which is probably, of course, the most difficult. And I knew Sabrina. She grew up with my kids. As soon as I let her go and gave her to God, because I knew I had no control over her addiction or whether she crashed her car and killed a family in their car, God took her, and that was how he answered my prayer. That's a very powerful statement, Carly, and thank you for sharing that, because I would always tell Carly, I don't know how you do it, because she was so strong during that time. And she said, God answered my prayers because I had no control over her addiction. And that's how God answered my prayers. And I said, wow, I mean, to even, be at peace with that is very insightful and courageous. And that's exactly what happened. Talk about letting go, just letting go and knowing that God had her and that was her path. And Carly believes that with all her heart, and I believe it as well. But it took me a minute because I was like, wow, Carly, that's incredible that you can go there immediately. That was at her funeral. She said that. I will never forget that. And I said, wow. She said, no, I asked God, and this is what God, and she's an angel in heaven, and we know Sabrina is. But that's a beautiful, I mean, and then it makes us think about these little things that, we can't let go of. And here we have, a beautiful person who let go of her child and let God take care of that. And that's how she walks her life. So thank you, Carly, for sharing that example, because that's big, when you can let go of that and then now take it to other things in our daily lives to let go of. So if you're hanging on to anything, that's bothering you, let it go. And that's how we can walk through these uncertain times. Let's see, Renee Popovitz. Hi, Renee. She's our friend from Chicago. Even though it is tough to make plans because of the uncertain times, isn't it important to follow your heart and not be afraid to travel to visit a friend who needs you or a family who need love and attention? Also, isn't it part of letting go, having faith that protection exists to allow you to do things to fulfill your purpose in these uncertain times and not be paralyzed by fear of the virus or civil unrest or perceptions of others? Absolutely. That's, I mean, yes. Renee, I know you're going to be coming out to visit, and I can't wait to see you. And but everything's on lockdown, but you can still come visit, and we can be very careful during your visit, and when you're visiting other family members. So if you feel intuitively to go and to visit somebody, and Renee feels intuitively this is the best thing to do, and I'm right there with her on that, because I want her, I believe that as well. Now, for me, I don't feel safe and comfortable going on an airplane with my health. And so that's my intuition saying to stay back and to stay home. And, but I've traveled over the last 7 months, not on a plane, but I've gone, to Arizona on a little 3-day, with my immediate family and Airbnb, just to get out and get on the boat and do some stuff. And that was amazing. I did, another one up on the Central Coast, in Santa Ynez with a couple of friends, and we all had our social distance time. We had to get out, and that's been over the last several months, and it was so healing for me to get out. Renee hasn't left this whole time, so yes, just getting out and being with the people that you love, even if it's for a few days. But if you feel comfortable with that, if you haven't done that, but it comes to your heart and your spirit, Gabriel says to do it. But he's saying right now, during all of this, to go with your intuition. It's so important to follow your intuition. If you feel that it's something that you should do it, but do it carefully, follow your intuition. If you feel that you shouldn't, then set your boundaries and say, I don't think I can do that right now, but, I can partake in a different way, maybe, by going out to eat, or something. Now, if you guys, I don't know if everybody can hear my birds, but I have new birds. Their name are Happy and Flappy, and they're listening to me. They're way on that side of the house, and it seems like they're trying to talk because I'm talking. And I had them last week, and they were so quiet. And now that I've had them for over a week, they're feeling more comfortable at home. So next week, I'll make sure I put them in the laundry room or something. But right now, they're joining in on our conversation because they're just going and going. And they're just little parakeets. They're not like big birds. They're adorable, but yeah, they're my grandsons. I got them for Nola. So if you hear them, just know that they're only part of tonight's show. I'll make sure next week, when Adrian's on, that we won't have them in the background. But they're trying to be part of the conversation. They can feel everything. They've got all kinds of questions for me that I don't understand. Anyway, so back to Renee's talk. Yes, or your question. And so, yeah, follow your heart, and, don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, it's okay to follow your heart. That's the main thing. Follow your heart, follow your intuition. Do what is best for you. And if somebody feels like they want to do something and they feel safe with it, and they're an adult, encourage them to do that, because everybody right now has to take care of themselves and the best that they can. Their mental health is very important. We have so many people who are in recovery that are suffering because they can't go to meetings, and there's just different relapses or whatever, just new diagnoses, anxiety where people didn't have anxiety before, things like that. So whatever it is that brings peace and love into your heart and into your life, that's what you should be doing. And so thank you. I know. Hi, Ray. Cover the birds. Well, I'm home alone, so I would have to get up and go cover the birds. Yeah, and they would quiet down. Yeah, I know. I just can't do that right now. So they're just going to be part of our show tonight. But you're right. I have a sheet right there as well. I have a feeling, though, they would still, with the sheet, if I'm on this thing, that they would still keep going. But we'll see. Next time, they're not going to be part of the show, I hope. But they are good. They are good birds. And of course, my son Samuel, he's dialing. Every time I have my show, he calls, doesn't he? He always calls during my show. And he knows I do my show on Thursdays, so that's interesting. But It's like next time I'll make sure he comes on and watches the show. He's a good kid. So we'll put my phone there. It's ringing. I've got the birds. So for those of you who do these shows, or they're going to start to do these shows, I mean, God bless you. It's amazing. It's amazing to be able to communicate this way with technology, knowing that we are also human and we have our homes. And I'll tell you, these little pets are really loud. And they're tiny. They're tiny birds. Oh well. Okay. They're just saying hi. Let's see. Do we have any questions from anybody that would, if not, we'll just keep going with Gabriel's conversation. Let's see. I don't see any questions in the chat. We've got, all right. So he says we can go ahead and talk about health and well-being as well, since that's what our topic was supposed to be, or wasn't supposed to. That was my idea. So he says we could do both. So it's most important right now to focus on your health and your well-being, because we are all well-beings. He wants to remind you that we are well-beings, that you are a well-being. And if you can look at yourself rather than saying, I'm sick, I'm afraid, I've got this going on, because really he's speaking to me right now, because those are all the words that I say to myself. If I say I am a well-being, I am always the perfect being, and visualize yourself being well. Visualize yourself being well, and what that feels like in your body. That's how, he says, spiritually and energetically, we can heal our body, our mind, body, and spirit. And so he wants to remind us right now, as we hopped onto the topic of health and well-being, to visualize yourself as being well. So visualize yourself being well, and then intuitively eat, he says, is the best way to do it. And again, we all have our intuition. We know whether, to eat the chocolate chip cookie or the apple. And that's going to be our choice. That's our intuition. We can ask the angels, which one should I do? You're always going to feel the pull to go forward when you have an apple in front of you versus the cookie. Although there's no judgment, they say, but we can make better choices when we're eating each meal. And we can bless each meal as we eat it, and ask that it helps nourish our body, whatever it is that we're eating, nourish our body, and that we will have fast metabolism with it, that it'll metabolize perfectly in our body the way it should, so that it'll be nutrition for our body, mind, and spirit. Now, he says it's more difficult for sugar to be nutritious for our body. So if we choose to eat sugar and more things like that create sugar, that's not going to be as easy to metabolize at all. So they encourage the release of sugar from our diet as much as possible. They're not saying to diet, but this is intuitive eating. So if you're intuitively eating, you're always going to choose the one that has the less sugar and that has the most nutrition. And then you're going to crave those foods. You're going to crave the greens. You're going to crave the salads. You're going to crave the lean proteins, and you're going to crave the water and say, I'm thirsty, I'm not hungry, I'm thirsty, and water is life. All of those things, you're going to start craving those. So he is encouraging me, and in turn encouraging all of us, that when we're looking at our healthy eating, is to just intuitively do it with no judgment. If we end up eating something that, quote unquote, we're not supposed to, release it and pray that it will metabolize in our body and be released. And then go on to the next meal whenever it comes, and try it again with an intuition eating, so that you're mindfully eating, if you will, and you're going to enjoy that nutrition. You're going to feel the life force of the food nourishing your body, mind, and spirit, rather than saying, well, I have to diet, so I'm going to deprive myself of the tacos that I love. That's where things get tricky for me, because then I'm like, well, shoot, if I'm starting my diet on Sunday, then that means I'm going to eat tacos today. Da 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 da. No, he says, just go with intuition. He wants me to, he wants me to start something for 60 days to where it's going to be a divine intuitive fasting, he's calling it. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to have, times where I'm going to eat things that I love, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to follow my intuition as best as I can, he says, no judgment, and try to intuitively eat for 60 days. And I'll start that on Sunday and see how that goes. But he's saying that for me, that's going to help my body, and that's going to help the healing of my lungs. It's going to help all of it. And then, it'll just get me to where I'm able to think clearer, because when you have lung problems and there's low oxygen, you can't really think that clearly. I've had that kind of problem lately. And so, I'm making lists. But when you're eating the right, or not the right, he says there's no right or wrong, but when you're eating intuitively, then you will have clarity also. And then you're going to feel your body just being clear and clean and healthy, knowing that you're already a well being. You're a perfect being exactly the way you are. And you might say, well, Gabriel, how can that be so if I'm sick and I've got this and there's this and that? Well, you're already your core. It's like, when you see an old house and you're like, okay, that's got some good bones behind it, or good foundation. Boy, can we, do this and that with it. That's kind of how our bodies can be as well. It's like you've got a really good foundation there. So, we all have that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here still. So we wouldn't be in the physical realm if we weren't supposed to be here right now. And there are ways to heal ourselves intuitively with intuitive eating. Now, he's saying, of course, if you're under medical care, like I'm still going to go see my doctor, and do whatever they're asking me to do. But you can integrate, just like integrating the drama to Dharma, you can integrate, medicine that was definitely, most of medicine was all divinely brought here to this time that we are anyways. It's all divinity. So medicine with the spiritual healings as well. We can spiritually heal our body and integrate when it's necessary the medicine that God has, helped all these wonderful doctors and scientists through all these evolution of all these thousands of years. They've come to the evolution of where they are now with medicine. So, integrate and balance it out so that you're doing both if necessary, because there's so many medical things right now that are, wonderful, that will help save lives. And if it's not your time, then they will intervene medically. And then you can follow it up with all the intuitive eating and all of it together, if you would. The Eastern, the Western practices together is the perfect medical plan. It's the perfect medical plan, because you can say Eastern medicine has always worked. Western medicine is a few hundred years older and it's still working good, so combine the two, and that comes the perfect medical plan for your health and well-being when necessary, especially right now. And Adrian has a question. Sometimes I don't sleep well, waking up crazy hours and strange dreams. Is this just part of what is happening energetically with the planet? Yes, absolutely. I haven't been sleeping well for the last couple months, especially last night. And we're picking up, for those of us who, and we're all intuitive, but for those of us who are really like feeling that energy, we can feel it. So what he says is that when we ask during those nights when we can't sleep, just ask them to nurture us. Ask your spirit guides to nurture you and to help you to sleep, and to nurture your body and to sleep, to help you sleep that night, through the whole night, and that to put all of that energy like a cloak of, I don't want to call it protection necessarily, but you can, but a cloak of God around you, a cloak of divinity around you, so that all of that energy could be at bay while you're sleeping in this beautiful cocoon of love, of divine love. And then you will sleep like a baby. You will sleep with the angels. You will, so it's a practice, because during the day, we're doing all of these things and we're working our spiritual stuff, and, we're even talking to people about it, and we have their spiritual stuff coming through and all this stuff. So, part of the nightly practice should be that we let all of that go, and that we put this divine cloak around us, of protection, or this, divine cloak of peaceful energy, and have them nurture us, and they will nurture us. They will help us sleep that night. And I've done this practice on this show before, where we do that, and then people have told me afterwards that they would do that and they would sleep so well that night. So thank you, Adrian, for bringing that up, because right now there's a lot of energy going on with the planets, with our planet shifting. Just if you turn on the news, or you click onto something that is a different vibration, a different realm than you are, that'll take you there quickly as well. So just, if you can, just shut all that off, and then put on some Christmas music. That's what I do before I go to bed, or watch a Christmas something fun that's just like nothing. And, pray, read, whatever it is that can bring you peace, and then put that prayer, that cloak of divinity around you, and then you will have a peaceful night's rest. And then you could get up in the morning and ask for that divine energy, and then you can start your day with that beautiful divine energy, and they will wake you up when it's time, when you do that, and then you will have that divinity of energy. Gabriel saying, especially for you, Adrian, because right now you're doing a lot, and you're just doing a lot spiritually right now. So there's, that you'll get more downloads from them when you're in that cocoon asleep. You will wake up with all of this stuff like, wow, where did I get this? You're actually then, that's when they can just nurture you and give you all these great answers that you've been asking for, is what they're saying, so that you're not, trying to think about it in your sleep as well. So thank you for that question, because I think a lot of us have been going through that right now. Let's see, Carly, Josie, we talked about December 14th. I got, let's see, that's the day we got both a solar eclipse and a new moon. What does Gabriel say about how this will affect us? Well, yes, that's December 14th is going to be basically the start of the new year. Instead of January 1st, it's going to be right around that new moon. The new moon of December 14th is going to start our new year, 2021, basically energetically, because that's going to be the moon that starts us for the new year. So if we can think about it as a very positive time, because a new moon is a little sliver. It's not a full moon. It's just this, the sliver of a moon, and then the sun's going to be crossing over it, and the sun is all light. So if you can imagine how beautiful that's going to be that day, and just imagine it as light coming into the planet and shifting and starting us with this whole new year. And even just saying it energetically, I feel better already because I'm like, wow, let's just shake off 2020. So thank you for asking that question, Carly. It's going to be a beautiful day, December 14th, and it's not going to have any old energy. It's going to have new energy coming through the planet for what's new. And we'll talk more on other shows, he says, about, 2021. But if we can start manifesting right now all the good things that we want, and we can, that day on December 14th, just remember that that's a light day, that things are coming through, that's all light. That's light coming through. It's a new day. It's a new moon. It's a new year. It's a whole new time. It's a new time. We can say it's the age of Aquarius. We can say it's, but it's going to be a new, beautiful time. So, everybody will hopefully feel lighter that day. You'll feel light and be ready for the new year, and be ready for Christmas and Hanukkah in the middle of all of that beautiful holy days, because that's, if you look at all the calendars, that's really the time of the holy days all together. And so it's a very spiritual time, and it's going to be a nice day. It'll be a nice day for most. And some, you might sleep a little bit more that day, he says, because you might be getting more downloads. So on days that we sleep and we feel tired, that may not be a bad thing. It could be, he says, that sometimes, like today with my sleeping, I needed that rest. And I needed that rest, and that rest allowed me to get more information from them. So, because I was in deep sleep. So it wasn't necessarily a bad thing that I slept all day. Okay. For me, it was not, I didn't say, I mean, he says there's no good or bad, but for me, I was thinking it was not a good thing because I never do that. But they're telling me right now that don't read too much into it. If your body is tired and you want to sleep, just sleep. Just do it. Don't, try not to put any energy on it that will take it to extreme, because our words and our thoughts are so powerful. So if we say that this is, my goodness, it's going to be, oh my goodness. And that's okay. We're human. We could do that as well. But shake it off as soon as you can. And that's why Gabriel was like, because I was thinking, gosh, should I do the show tonight? I wasn't feeling good today. And people said, are you still going to do the show? And Gabriel's like, yep, you're going to do the show. And you're going to look great. And you're going to do the show. I'm like, all right, I believe you then. Because believe me, I needed freshening up after today. I was like, oh my word, how am I going to pull this off? And then I just let the angels do it. And I said, okay, I'm just going to show up, and that's what I did. And that's what they want us to do. That's what they want you to do. When you feel that you're having a down day in these times, uncertain times, just go with your intuition. Take some stuff off your plate, cancel things if you need to, whatever, to sleep and to just be one in with God and with your meditation. It'll come back tomorrow, but embrace it. And if you have something on your calendar that says, you know what, this is a good thing, this is something that's going to help, with the work I'm doing, then do it. And they will give you the answers. So if you sleep a lot during the day, sometimes it's okay. Don't judge that. Just say that that's where we are today. Because for years, I never took a nap. And I worked 12, 14 hours a day. So if once in a while, yeah, just embrace it. Do it. Stay in your pajamas. And then, shake it off the next day. Don't, he wouldn't go crazy with it and do it like every day. Make a habit out of it, because then that could be a different kind of problem. But just once in a while, do that. And then the next day, just shake it off and get back into life, whatever that looks like for you. And that's okay. It's all perfect the way it's supposed to be. And that's the main thing that he wanted to share about that. And that to look forward to December 14th, because that's really the new moon and the solar eclipse. And thank you, Carly, for asking questions about that, because that's definitely going to be a fun day, he says, for everybody, hopefully, and they may realize it or not why it's a good day, but it will be. So that's nice. Let's see. And some of us will be home, and if you're having any kind of medical procedures that day, it's a good day for that as well. It's just a nice energetic day to do things, he says, in general, or just be, just have fun. Yeah, go outside if you can. Don't look up, because what they say, you might get blinded, but you can but you can, it'll pass, and then you can go and do something outdoors as well, so that you could feel that energy, that beautiful energy of the day. And you're not, just stuck indoors that day. Be nice to get outside, even if it's in your patio or whatever, and just kind of embrace that energy. And when you know that you feel that way, that you're indoors too much, go outside. And it's okay. If you're in a place where it's cold and it's like difficult to be outside, go in the middle of the afternoon when the sun's out a little bit. But get some earth, he's saying. Feel the earth. Feel the earth. It's so important to feel the earth right now, to be grounded. So if you can get some earth and feel it outside under, walk on the grass, or get some earth and put, some more plants in your house, so that you can have some dirt and you can have some growing plants and oxygen. Natural oxygen from plants in your house is very helpful, he says. It'll just help you with your breathing. It'll help with with a lot. So see, he's telling me that too. I really don't have any plants in my house. And so I probably should get a few, he says, because plants are good. It's just, I kill them. So he says, but because I say that, it always happens. So there we go again. But if you can get some plants and you feel comfortable doing that, get some plants, put them in your house, get some dirt, anything that is earthbound over these next couple weeks when things feel uncertain times and you're not feeling, grounded, just go outside. If you can, put your feet on the dirt, walk in the grass, get that alkaline, the natural alkaline for your body. Drink alkaline water is very important. I drink a lot of alkaline water. It's just going to help you to feel grounded as well. And that's back to, we go back and forth, but that's some of the health stuff where you're saying you're not hungry, you're thirsty, and drink the water. But also just walking on the grass, barefoot, just feel the dirt, feel the earth. And it's okay to feel the earth. It's not, it's not scary. It's not, sometimes you're like, well, really, I'm going to get my hands dirty. I just did my nails. Yes, you can feel the dirt. You can do that. You can garden a little bit, or you can just get the dirt and just go like that and just say, that feels really nice. So that's what he's saying. That's important to do those things that normally we would not do. Anything we wouldn't normally do, he's saying, do it now. If it's a good thing, if it's something that's going to help you to feel better, to help your body feel better. So feel the dirt in your toes, in your hands. Do a little gardening. Bring some plants into your house. If you already have a lot of plants, great. Get a couple more. If you don't have any plants and you're intimidated by them, don't be. He's like, they're not scary. They're not going to die, and even if they do, whatever. Oh gosh. And of course, Dr. Ray, watch out for the dog poop barefoot in the grass. Well, yeah. So yeah, you can do that. And he's saying even that is not going to kill you. If you happen to do that, well then, heaven forbid, you're going to have to go get a water hose and wash your feet and get water on your feet, whatever. Don't let things intimidate you. If you don't have a dog, you don't have to worry about it. So, but yeah, pick some fruit. If there's fruit trees around right now, if there's lemons or something like that, pick some fruit, wash it really good. And if you're able to, he says, even plant a garden of little foods you could eat. Maybe some, right now is the time to plant bulbs for the spring. So if you've ever gardened and you want to get some bulbs, put them in the ground now. And then you'll be so pleased during the springtime when they come up. And then you'll be able to watch them grow as little seedlings. It's so much fun, he says. That's something I've never done. So he's telling me, get a couple bulbs, put them in the ground. You'd be shocked how amazing it is. So things that we normally wouldn't do, he's saying, do it. Do those things that make you feel happy. Anything that can bring up your vibration while you're home again. If we're stuck at home again for the next month, round 2, we know what it's like. We are over the shock. We've been there, done that. Let's just do it better this time. We're not going to be in shock. We can really find some cool things to do. Put some bulbs in, do whatever you didn't do the last time, do it this time. Because if we have to do things again, there's a reason why we keep having to do it again, energetically and as human beings. There's no accident. So if we have to do something again, let's learn from it. Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's just do it. He's saying, just do it. Do it intuitively this time rather than fear-based. Go for it. Go for whatever your spirit is saying to do. That's what this is about, this second round. If we have to, quote unquote, go second round, let's do it intuitively. Let's be prepared so that we're not in shock, we're not angry, or any of those things. I like that. That's good. Thank you, Gabriel. Let's see. Jim said my back. Oh, okay. Jim put a comment that his backyard's full of dog poop. Yeah. All right. Well, we can change the subject from the dog poop since that seems to be in our little comments going right now. And Diane Deagle says hello. Melanie Long says hello. Hello, Melanie. Hi, Diane. Thank you for coming from another platform and joining us. And I appreciate again, for those who have joined us tonight, I know, and also I appreciate you that will watch us later, will watch me later, us, because it's us, Gabriel, it's all of us who are here together. And, you know, I hope that these messages have helped uplift your spirit and inspire you. And we always like to take a moment sometime during the show to just thank the angels, thank God, you know, thank the universe, moment of gratitude for everything that we have, for our health, our wellness, and for all of the intuition that we have to intuitively just thank them for filling us with that the divinity and the intuition of the angelic realm, of the spiritual realm, and thank them ahead of time, in advance, if you will. Thank them in advance for all the beautiful things that they have given and are giving, the things that we already have coming in the morning. Thank you in advance for the beautiful night's sleep that we're going to get. Thank you in advance for all that is good and all that is light and all that is love that we've had up to this date in our life, that we have at this moment in our life, and that we have continuing, because we are eternal beings. So everything we do is always continual, and we are all one when we do it. We are one together, all of us. Those who are listening right now, those who are not, all of us together. We are one. And we do affect each other in so many beautiful ways. So knowing that we're one, we share each other's love. And my heart and my love and my prayers are for you, as I also will embrace your love and your prayers for me. That's what Gabriel says, that we should pray for each other. Pray for ourselves first, our health. Hold that oxygen mask on ourselves so that we can be there to pray for others. It's not selfish. It's loving ourselves so that we can love others. That's the only way, he says, that it can work, is if we love ourselves so that we can share that love with others. It's impossible to share love that we don't have, even for ourselves. So with that, that's most of the message. I would like to, before we end, show our commercial and thank our sponsor, ATS, Addiction Therapeutic Services, or Advanced Therapeutic Services. That's the treatment center that Jim and I own. We have a lot of staff on right now watching, and I want to thank them for always supporting us. So we have a little commercial, and then, of course, our producer and platform host, Debbie G., from Spirituality Gone Wild. So let's watch this little commercial we have, Deb.
My name is Christopher Zwick. I've struggled with addiction for all of my adult life. I went from alcohol to opiates to heroin and meth. I spiraled down until I ended up in the hospital, malnourished and suicidal. I was the shell of the man I used to be. Then, I found hope. I found ATS. Advanced Therapeutic Services provided me with a safe environment and the tools necessary to recover. I learned how to address the root issues behind the addiction. I now have over a year clean. I owe my life to ATS.
I want to thank you, Christopher, for giving that, helping us with our commercial. That's Debbie's son, who, as he put out there, went through our program, and he's doing well today. And we, we don't try to say we saved his life. He saved his own life, and we're here to help him with tools and to help guide him and be there. So if anybody's struggling with addiction or mental illness, you can give us a call. We do things on Zoom, and we can, help you the best that we can, or guide you to where you can get help if you're not local. So thank you to ATS. Thank you for Debbie G. from Spirituality Gone Wild. And I want to do a little shout out to Jody, because he said, we love you, and I love you too. And thank you for always being on our show. Thanks you again, everybody, for participating. And my love and heart to yours until we meet again next Thursday, 7 o'clock. And we will have a special guest next week. So thank you very much. Blessings to all.